So today I have a daily dozen for you to combat lockdown loneliness. Hi, my name's Christine L. Conroy. Welcome to Happy Stuff and Fluff, a channel for women over 50 who are getting happy and growing younger. And this is a much requested video, which is great because it helps me to know what I can do to help you. But on the other hand, a little bit concerning that so many people have asked me to talk about this, because obviously that means that lots of you are experiencing loneliness or experiencing more loneliness than you would normally do. So first of all, the question I will ask you is, are you lonely? And the answer to that is no, you are not lonely. The first thing is to do is, for us to do, is to change the language. You are feeling lonely. You are not lonely. I think I've talked about this before. You don't say, if you've broken your leg, you don't say, I am broken leg, do you? And why is that? Because you know the broken leg isn't permanent. The broken leg is going to mend. So you don't say, I am broken leg. You say, I have a broken leg. Equally, with something like this, as with depression, if you say to yourself, I am lonely, then that says to you that this is a permanent thing. And it isn't. At least it doesn't need to be. So, right now, you are feeling lonely. And if you are feeling lonely, then you are not alone, because there were 9 million people in the UK feeling lonely before the pandemic and before the lockdowns. Now what that figure is, I don't know, but I'd like to bet it's a whole lot higher than 9 million, and I'm assuming that this is going to be similar in the US and other countries around the world where this thing is happening. I mean, sometimes I feel lonely, especially, of course, over the last 12 months, even though I actually love being alone. I enjoy my own company. Because loneliness and solitude are not the same thing, are they? We know this. You can be in a room full of people and feel lonely. Or you feel lonely when you feel disconnected. And as I say, you can feel that in a room filled with people. You may know many people, but you may not have a deep connection with any of them. And I think for me, this is what signifies feeling lonely, that lack of deep connection. Now, being lonely and in lockdown and with Christmas around the corner is going to present challenges for even the most, people like me who enjoy being on my own. I'm feeling it too. So, you are definitely not alone. And that's the first thing to say. The thing is, the only person who can do anything about this is you. You have a choice. Now, I know it isn't easy, but you have a choice. You can either be sucked further and further into the downward spiral that leads to depression, if indeed you're not there already, or you can take on a challenge. You can take on this challenge and do something about it. So first of all, you have to accept your feelings. Do not try to deny them by saying things like, well, I don't need anyone. I don't need people. I'm perfectly fine on my own, or whatever. This is what you have to do. You have to accept that you feel lonely. Now, for many people, admitting to that there's kind of shame attached to it. There is no shame attached to loneliness. As I've said to you, 9 million people in the UK felt that way before the pandemic. There is no shame in feeling loneliness. And you have to accept that feeling. I'm feeling lonely. That's the first thing. Accept your feelings. And this is now where self-awareness comes in. You really have to dig deep. And I want you to complete this sentence. If you have a pen and paper there, I like you to have a pen and paper. So stop me, I'll wait for you. I want you to have a pen and paper because I want you to answer this straight away without thinking about it. Are you ready? I want you to complete this sentence. I feel lonely because. See, we're doing this in real time. I feel lonely because. And now complete this section. What else? What else? I feel lonely because. You've written an answer. Tell me something else. Another reason why you feel lonely. And then tell me more. And then tell me more. Okay, you don't have to do it now. But that's what I want you to do, and I want you to keep going until you get to the very bottom of it, until you can't write any more, until you've wrung out every reason why you're feeling lonely at the moment. And the reason I want you to do this, we have to understand why you are feeling lonely. Because, for example, if your loneliness, your feelings of loneliness are caused by low self-esteem, for example, or lack of confidence, then those issues need to be dealt with first. It would be no use me, trotting out the usual advice. Oh, go and make some new friends. Or, oh, join a club. Okay, great things to do. Not if the very thought of doing those things terrify you because you have low self-esteem and no confidence whatsoever. You see where I'm going with that one? So you have to really understand what it is that's at the bottom of you feeling lonely. Now, if it is confidence and low self-esteem, there are tons of books and courses out there that will help you to look at confidence issues. I'll be talking about confidence on Happy Stuff and Fluff in the new year. But you can do that and help yourself in that way. Now, if you are feeling lonely because of the situation you find yourself in, then work through this daily dozen. It's not exactly daily dozen, but there are 12 things I'm going to talk about. Work through this daily dozen and then make the decision that this daily dozen, if you do it, is going to help you. So choose or do them all, but decide right now that you are going to take action and do these things and that it is going to help you. Because again, that's one of the first steps, to have the intention, to make the choice, to make the decision that you are going to help yourself through this. Okay, so the first one is to set yourself daily goals, things that you need to achieve by the end of the day. You see, what we're trying to do here is to create purpose and meaning in your day. And this is a great way to do it. So set yourself mini goals. So, for example, walk for 30 minutes, clean out a cupboard, organise your wardrobe, go shopping, include 15 minutes of yoga or stretching. And have these things set as mini goals in your day. You can either do it the night before or do it in the morning. But work through those goals. You'll feel so much better at the end of the day having accomplished those things. So make sure they're just small goals, easily for you to achieve. And then if you want to do, you could set yourself a bigger weekly goal that's going to challenge you. But for our purposes here, on a daily basis, set yourselves little goals to achieve. Number 2, talked about this before, digging for pleasure. Dig for pleasure, you know what I say. Moments of pleasure, small and often, are what get you through the day. And that applies to whatever your situation is, I think. So find out, you should already, if you've been listening to me for a long time, have at least 10 things that give you pleasure. Schedule these into your day, even if it's just reading a book for 30 minutes. Eat cake. Watch your favourite television programme. Use these moments of pleasure to treat yourself as you've accomplished each mini goal that you've set before. Okay, it's a great one to do that. Number 3, decide to travel to somewhere else in the world, to a different part of the world. I love this one. It could be included in Dig for Pleasure. This is YouTube. You can go on YouTube and literally travel anywhere in the world. You can even spend an hour walking down the streets of Quebec at Christmas. Someone's actually filmed that. You can go on the express trains through the alpine scenery, and you can sit for an hour doing that if you would so wish. But you can get a little glimpse of different parts of the world and what they look like, as opposed to looking at travel brochures. You actually get to see what they're actually like, what it's like walking through the streets of Quebec or Ontario or somewhere you don't live, Paris, or find something like that where you think you might want to go when all this is over, and watch it. Just watch it. I think that's a great one to do. You must be sure to get outside every single day, whatever. I mean, sometimes just being around humans, just seeing another human, can help. But getting outside in fresh air is vital. And whilst you're out there, smile at people. Smile at people. It'll cheer them up. It'll cheer you up. And it's proven that smiling improves your mood, even if you just smile to yourself. So that's a great one. And getting out into nature, I'll leave a link up here. We've talked about this often. Walk alone, or obviously with someone if you do have access to someone. But if you don't, get on the phone and walk with someone on the phone. Let them go walking wherever they live, and you can do that on FaceTime and walkie-talkie. Walk for 15 minutes with them on the phone. If that's what you would like to do. Alternatively, you could walk mindfully and not speak to anyone and just notice everything that's around you and be totally in the moment whilst you're doing that. Number 6 is to journal. I've talked about this before. Getting your feelings down on paper, writing about how you feel is great. It's a great thing to do because it gets it out of your mind. It's not just then going around in your mind. Get it out of your head, down on paper, and then if you wish, you can throw that away. The very act of getting it out of your brain and down on paper will help you. Now, another great thing that I used to do many years ago was what Julia Cameron from The Artist's Way calls morning pages. So you could do this first thing in the morning. You just literally pick up a pen and start writing. Everything that's in your mind, you start writing. Whatever it is, even if you're swearing, it doesn't matter. Write it all down. Everything that comes into your head. It doesn't have to make sense even. If it comes into your head, you write it down and you keep writing until you've filled 3 pages. Boy, I'm telling you now, it really helps. And then you can throw those pages away if you wish. But you've got all of that feeling, negative, whatever it is, out, down onto paper. So that's 2 in 1. Journaling or doing morning pages is a great thing to do. Number 7. If you don't have anyone close, you can volunteer to help other people who are feeling lonely, who may be worse than you and have no one at all, no family, no friends to talk to. There are organisations that you can join and volunteer a phone call. That could lead to a very rich and rewarding relationship. Number 8 is to Zoom or FaceTime. Now, Zoom, obviously everyone's been Zooming. If you haven't done that yet because you don't know how to do it, back to YouTube. There will be a step-to-step video on how to use Zoom or how to FaceTime, but do that so that you can see your family and friends and that you can actually talk to them and see them too. I think we're so lucky that we have this kind of technology. Sticking with technology then, join a Facebook group. When I did the Hygge video, there are quite a few Hygge websites where they tend to be women over 50. Not always, not always, don't shout at me for that, but they do tend to be women over 50 who talk about all kinds of things that make them feel good and comfortable. It's great to join a group like that, because you can find people who are like-minded, that you can talk to and get to know through a Facebook group or something that you're interested in, to find like-minded people. Now, I know it's not the same as actually talking, but if you found someone in an area, your area, who's posting on these sites, then perhaps that's a way to get to know someone through a group like that. And sticking with online, number 10 is I think this is a great idea, is to find an online book club. If you enjoy reading, find an online book club. Now, some of these actually meet on Zoom too, so you actually see each other whilst you're talking about the particular book. That's a great one to do. There's crime, ones that just focus on crime, ones that focus on romance, whatever. You will find something that you're interested in online. And that's number 10. Now, I'm just going to, before I say 11 and 12 here, I'm just going to say, of course, you could learn something new, completely new, or you could do the first steps of learning something new on YouTube, say, and then when the pandemic's over, find somewhere that does it in your area so that you're not going somewhere green, totally green. You've learned a little bit about it on YouTube first, and then when we're allowed to join groups again, you'll be able to go to that group with a little bit of confidence that you know something about the subject before you went there. And with that in mind, when I kind of was saying, join a group at the beginning, I didn't mean to sound facetious about that. The thing is about joining groups, join a group who do something that you are incredibly interested in. And go with that in mind, because you're interested in that particular group and not necessarily because you want to meet lots of new people and make friends. Let that come as a natural course of things. If you are going to do something that you really enjoy, then you will go and do that and enjoy it, whether or not you are able to make new friends. The chances are you will, but you're going with a different intention. You're going to do something that you enjoy. I think that's the best way to approach that. Number 11 is look for the good. Post that somewhere. Post it somewhere. Look for the good you will always find. Constantly. If you go out for a walk, tell yourself, I'm going to find 3 things that are amazing on this walk. With that intention, looking for the good, you will find it. You will find it. And number 12 is keep your gratitude journal going. I know sometimes it might feel, especially if you're having periods of time where you're feeling particularly sorry for yourself, and I say that because I've been there, where you think, the world is ending. No, there's always something to be grateful for. And as I've said to you before, once you get that little bit of positivity, it will help you. It will help you to move forward. Okay, so that's the Daily Dozen in terms of little things that you can do to help yourself with lockdown loneliness and ongoing. Once we come out of lockdown too, keep them going. Now, incidentally, an interesting survey done in 2018, because you tend to think it's only us older folk who get lonely. It's not true. In fact, in 2018, Manchester University did a nationwide study which discovered that those people who suffer the most and the most intensely from feeling lonely are the age group between 16 to 24. So you can hook up with either grandchildren or somebody you know of that age to strike up a relationship with. You would be helping them too. Just a thought. There are organisations that do that, put people of different generations together, which I also think is a great thing to do. Okay, I know that's not an awful lot. I hope some of it has helped you. And if you do have any experience of this yourself, please tell us and give us some ideas that might help someone else. I'll be writing in full on the blog about this, where you will be able to comment and give me your opinions. But if you think of something quickly, put it down in the comments box below. That would be great. And the next video to watch is this one, if you haven't watched it before, the one on self-awareness with journal prompts. That's a great place to start. Okay, stay safe. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time.